Hello everyone, it's Teacher Victoria with Lead From Home, your spot for resources and tools to help you gain access and visibility to your consumer in the online ESL teaching platform or teaching platform. Today's video is going to be a brief reflection of what is going on right now. I am currently physically in the process of moving my office. I would show you a picture, but there's not much to it. If you follow me on Instagram, take a look at the before photos. They're up. I am still in the process of putting up all my comfy, cozy creature comforts to help me make a great classroom and a healthy space for me. Now, that brings me to my next big thing. In the process of moving, I did not feel great. That was just poor timing. Sometimes we fall sick and we really can't do anything about it. We just have to let it run its course. Now, I suffer from chronic migraine. Many of you, if you suffer from migraine, I hope that you have somebody close by in your corner to help you and support you and nurture you during these times. When you have a migraine, and I get cluster headaches, so what that means is they can last anywhere from a short time to 3 or 4 days. Now, this last migraine I had lasted a total of 4 days, with the third day being horrible and the fourth day being an aura. More about health and balance. So I apologize if I go into too much detail about migraines. I do want to let you know that it can be debilitating, and put a halt to some of your teaching goals, and to share some positive things that I experienced and why I chose to reflect on these amidst some of the challenges that we had in our move. We're a military family, and we finally had the opportunity to move on post. For anyone that's in the military, there are pros and cons to living on the base, on the military installation, or living off for both. For this part of the move, we're getting close to retirement, which means that we want to save as much as we can, and so that we can invest in our future after the military. So living on post just made sense for us today, or this time. The process of doing this, moving from off post to on, it was a bit of a nightmare and a challenge, because as many of you know, or maybe you don't, we have to pay out of pocket for this move. I hired an independent contractor who promised that they had access to post. Paid them, I paid my deposit, and they were to bring our stuff on post. Now, we're not traveling very far. As a matter of fact, our old house is 14 miles away from our new space. Guess how long it took to get our belongings? And it was only partial, because my husband, being the hero that he is, had transported a lot of our essentials and probably our valuables ahead of time. So by the time that the contractors came, all they had was our major furniture, like our mattresses, our beds, and heavier things that I myself was not volunteering to carry into the home. Okay, fast forward. This was done on Tuesday. I didn't get my stuff until you got that today. Today is Thursday, and we didn't get our belongings until midday. I had no idea where our stuff was or why it took 2.5 days to get our stuff to the new house. You can imagine that if I was already ill and not feeling well, how that really played on my stress. Okay, maybe that triggered some of my tension and some of the migraine symptoms, but I will tell you that regardless of whether or not I was really happy and stress-free, sometimes a migraine is just going to happen. And whether other triggers, diet, exercise, you name it, they all contribute to physical health. So what did I do? I had to cancel 12 classes. And that did a number for me, because I absolutely adore my students. I love the time in the classroom. I love the engagement. And it's just great to see their progression over time. Yes, it hurt, but I had to do it for my own well-being. For myself, I do teach when I have a migraine, but I do not teach when I have the migraine and other sensory issues. Like if I was photosensitive to light, I can't do that because the lighting is for teaching is pretty intense. And if I'm teaching like this, because the pressure is so bad, it just doesn't make for great engagement. And I tried. Oh, embarrassingly, but I tried. And with nausea, it's a no-no for me. So here we are. I canceled 12 classes, and I haven't gotten my email yet that says your contract is under review. I do have a note, so that's tip number one. If you have a medical note for whatever illness that you have or that you know you may experience periodically, save it and just send it when you can. The earlier you know that you need to cancel a class, the best it's going to be. It's better to take that time for you to rest and recover so that you can come back and teach to the best of your ability. So those are 2 tips that I offer you. The other thing is about mindfulness and how we position ourselves when we're experiencing stress or anxiety. The way that we frame our thoughts really impacts how we experience the challenging events or the stressful times. I have to tell you about this wonderful experience this morning, and it only took seconds to really feel the message that this person shared. Okay, here we go. So as I was dropping off the keys to the landlord of our old home, where we just moved from, I had to come on to post and was greeted by a civilian contractor who is a guard. And he just greeted with such a positive, warm energy. It just beamed out of him. If he was glowing and like just positive vibes, it was, you could, as I was driving up, I'm feeling pretty okay, just a pretty decent day. But as soon as I hit this little bubble that he had, he was just jamming and he had his own little music going on. And the voice, when he came out, he looked you dead in the eyes and he says, "Hello, how are you today? Welcome to Fort Bup, Bup, Bup." And I smile back and I'm giggling on the inside, and I'm not really sure why, but that little giggle just kind of bubbled up and I'm so excited, like a little schoolgirl. And he's an older gentleman and it's nothing like that. It was just the vibe that he gave off, and hand him the information that he needed, checked it out, and he says, "You have a great day." And I felt it. I felt that message. So why do I share this with you? Not to mention that I actually physically giggled and was looking at my son who was in the passenger seat and was like, "Wow, that's great." So I say this to you because how we present, how our energy, how we are in the moment when we're teaching, it says so much. And we do have a challenge because we're talking to a screen and we are hoping so much that the student and the child can feel the love and the energy and the cheering that we have going on in our head, because sometimes we have to be so quiet and let them experience, the challenges or experience the success, and we're just a partner in the journey. I say this because there are so many different ways that you can build that rapport and establish that connection, even though you are on the other side of a TV screen. So this message is for anybody that is teaching virtually, online, or even having work meetings and team meetings with their staff and crew over the internet. Be sure that you are present, that you feel the message that you are sending out. And if you don't quite feel the vibe, take a moment for yourself. And it is okay. It is okay to take a break and just dive right in when you get back. So I'm going to end this video with just with validation. If you continue to do these practices and take care of yourself first, your students, your parents, your consumers are going to be invested in you as much as you are in yourself. I had to cancel those 12 classes and it hurt. But the next morning when I got up, and morning for me is relative, it's really when I get up from my nap. When I got up, 9 out of 12 of those students rescheduled. What does that say? What does that say? I send you great vibes, positive and happy teaching to all of you. Until next time, self-care always.